Hi everyone, my name is Nonkululeko Mbele and we are about to get labor smart with Rich Auntie. So if it is your first time to our channel, welcome. If it's not your first time, thank you again for coming back to the channel. Kindly like and share the link with your friends and family, and let's all get labor smart, because at the end of the day, we need to be labor smart. So let's talk about unfair suspension and any other disciplinary action that is short of dismissal. These things are quite frankly unfair labor practices, so let's get down to it. So an unfair suspension and any other disciplinary action short of a dismissal constitutes as an unfair labor practice, and it can also be unlawful in that it may amount to a breach of contract or a violation of other rights vested in the employee. Okay. All right, so it is important to note that a suspension may be of two kinds. All right, an employee may be suspended as a holding operation while waiting a disciplinary hearing, or it could be a disciplinary sanction. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that a summary suspension with pay may not constitute as an unfair labor practice, especially if the employer rather believes that the presence of this particular employee may harm a legitimate business interest. So if it happens that, okay, so for example, I work at XYZ company and I get suspended pending a disciplinary hearing, and my employer XYZ decides to put me on suspension with pay, because if I continue to go to work, I might interfere with the investigations, and it might be that the findings might be compromised because of my presence in the workplace. That's all that it means. Okay. However, a suspension without pay pending a disciplinary action or a criminal prosecution has been held to be an unfair labor practice. Okay. What this means is failure to pay a suspended employee is a breach of contract. Okay. And this will be the case unless if ever there is a collective agreement that states otherwise. So if you get suspended and they do not pay you, it is a unfair labor practice. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also important to note that if ever you are suspended, you may not accept another employment unless if your contract of employment has been repudiated. All right, so now let's talk about suspension as a disciplinary measure. Okay, so suspension as a disciplinary measure might change everything that I had just mentioned. Now, if it happens that you get suspended in an instance where you should be dismissed, suspension without pay might be permissible. Okay, so I'll put it as an example. I work at XYZ and I have all right, I work at XYZ and I have breached my contract so badly that XYZ is entitled to dismiss me, but they decide on a lesser sanction as a disciplinary measure. All right, so now they say to me, okay, rich auntie, because you have contravened your contract. Instead of us dismissing you, we are going to suspend you without pay for a certain period of time. That, obviously, if I accept it, it will be very permissible, unless if ever I opt for dismissal. I don't think anyone in this day and age would want to live without a job. So suspension without pay would rather make sense, depending on your situation, of course. All right. So if suspension is imposed as a disciplinary sanction, the ordinary requirements of the substantive and procedural fairness is required. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of the video. I ask that you please stay tuned, because we'll still be continuing with the other points that constitute unfair labor practice. I thank you so much for your time, and let's get labor smart again with Rich Auntie when we meet again.